Maybe on the okay, we're in Salthouse Dock. Salthouse Dock was called Salthouse Dock, and it was named Salthouse Dock because it's where they used to bring the rock salt in from Cheshire into Liverpool. Okay, and they get refined here on the quayside. The salt barges over on the East Quay. They will get refined here and loaded up onto bigger ships and taken away off around the world. That's why we get called salties here in the UK. Go to other countries, they call us salty. Okay, so Salthouse Dock was designed by Thomas Steers, and he started building it from 1734. It was completed after his death by Henry Berry, opening in 1753. Okay, so it's indicative of its name. Salthouse Dock is an important transit terminal for the salt industry. So that's my east. To my right is my east. To the left is my west. We're heading up. Astern me is the south. So right over to the east, you can see the Catholic Cathedral. We have two cathedrals. That's the Catholic Cathedral, was built in 1967. I'll show you the Anglican Cathedral as we proceed on into Queen's Dock in a bit. There's the ones you can see. But just about the river level or the water level of the dock is just about XX1, which is 21 feet, 21 and a half feet at the moment. So we're just passing through into the Albert Dock here. You can see the old dock plates either side as well. Some original bolts and timber there. We're passing through into the Albert Dock. Albert Dock was built by Jesse Hartley, the Yorkshireman, and Philip Hardwick helped the design as well. It was opened in 1846. Albert Dock was opened. Okay. 2 years later they introduced hydraulic cranes into the Albert Dock. The sister dock is charging the cargo. The types of cargo used to bring into the Albert Dock was brandy, cotton, tea, silk, tobacco, ivory and sugar. So it's quite expensive cargoes, and if you look at the buildings around, the warehouses were very well built because they're fireproof. So they're constructed of stone, steel and brick with the cast iron pillars supporting them up. So there's no timber involved in there. So you can imagine cotton, brandy and silk go up in flames in a timber warehouse. So British Albert's requisitioning Albert Dock during the Second World War to assist the Atlantic convoys. So you had the minesweepers and the smaller Royal Naval ships could fit in the Albert Dock. The bigger ships would go all around. There's a famous naval captain, Royal Naval captain called Johnny Walker, who deciphered what the German U-boats were up to and started sinking and making safer passage, because until that point we lost a lot of ships and men at sea during the convoys in the Atlantic battle. So we're swinging round. We're just coming to the point of our famous pier head. So if you look to the north of us, which is to my left as we swing round here, you'll see our famous pier head at Liverpool. That's what the ships will see when they come and tie up passenger ships into Liverpool. the Duke of Bridgewater as a Liverpool-based facility for traffic using the Bridgewater Canal from Manchester and Cheshire. The dock finally closed in 1972, and the entrance to the river was also filled in as well. So there's no access to the river anymore. It's now just used for pleasure craft. There's no propelled vessels allowed down there at all. It's just for diving and pleasure craft. Okay, so we're moving on. We're just gone into Wapping Dock itself, under the Wapping Bridge. Wapping Dock was built by Jesse Hartley. He designed it, and it was opened in 1856. That's 10 years after he's built the Albert Dock. Okay. Just stick your head out. You did so.
Might get to it actually. If you keep going, they're kind of, we're almost near the sea there. We're not far away from, when you get to that edge, we're not far away from our house. Yeah, so then, obviously you can't, anyway, you can walk in.
Yeah, we've just gone under the Queen's Wharf Bridge into Queen's Dock. Queen's Dock's the biggest of the South Liverpool docks, you can see here. It's occupied by the Liverpool Water Sports Centre. The Queen's Dock was designed and built by Henry Berry, opened in 1785. It was built for the timber industry, so ships used to bring in timber from all around the world into the Queen's Dock. And the dock was named Queen's Dock because it was named in honour of Queen Charlotte, the consort of George III. The Queen Charlotte was Sophia, so she was called Queen Charlotte Sophia, the younger sister of Duke Adolphus Frederick IV. This is the wife of the George III. Okay, so they named it Queen's Dock, and apparently they had a bull ring fight in the dock before they filled it with water as an opening ceremony. So you can just imagine that. It's got two dock branches. You've got the north branch over here, it's been filled in, and it's now a coach car park for all the visitors that come to the Albert Dock. The north branch is filled in. The south branch ahead of us is occupied by the Liverpool Water Sports Centre. The Campanile Hotel to the east, the Leo's Casino in the middle, and the Derby Hotel just there. Just get a glimpse of the Hickson's Brewery there as well, in between the casino and the Derby Hotel. That's now an exhibition centre, and you can go to Peaky Blinders as well, I think. Yeah, so Peaky Blinders in the village there, the King's Village. Okay, so in this dock here, they also used to have a graving dock. And the graving dock is what the Keel Building straddles over. The Keel Building used to be the Customs and Revenue headquarters, HM Customs and Revenue. They occupied that. That building was built in 1992, and they occupied that for 25 years. 3 years ago they moved out and moved to Scotland, so their headquarters is in Scotland now. Okay, so before the building was built, you got these docks over here to the graving dock, and that used to be a ship repair dock. So they'd open the gates up, they'd take a ship in, close the gates over, and they pump all the water out. The engineers would pump the water out the dock, and the ship would settle down in the cradle that they pre-built. Once all the water was pumped out, they jumped down below the hull of the ship, and if they need to re-rivet it, or replate it, put new panels on it, make it watertight. Any work below the waterline they could do. They could also, if it was a propeller vessel or with shafts as well, they could change the propellers, and they could work on the shaft seals. Prior to that, would have been timber ships. They could have changed any baulks of timber, keep it watertight. Once that was completed, they'd fill it up with water, flood the dock, float the ship, equalise it to Queen's Dock, open the gates, take it out for sea trials and back into service. Okay, just over to the east of us, coming into play behind the Dolby Hotel, we're just going to see the Anglican Cathedral. That's the first of our 2 cathedrals in Liverpool. That was built in 1907. It's a massive building, it's the 3rd tallest tower in Europe, and it's the biggest cathedral in the world. It's a beautiful building. I work at sea myself, and when you're 25 miles out to sea, you can see the Anglican Cathedral. All the new buildings, you can't see them, but you can see that. Okay, so if you look over here, we've got the Liverpool Water Sports Centre. You've got all kinds of vessels, shapes and sizes. Yeah, look at that. Big foot. So we've got over behind the River Mersey there on the other side, you've got the Camel Shipyard. They used to build all the Royal Naval ships during the war, that's why we got bombed. They also built the Polaris nuclear subs, okay, and they're currently refurbishing all the Royal Fleet Auxiliary Royal Naval supply ships at the moment. They have the contract for that. And have anybody heard of Boating at Beaufort? That's the new exploratory ship, the scientific ship's getting built in there. The back end of it's now sticking out. It's due to be delivered in October apparently, so that's going to be an icebreaker. It's going to be absolutely fantastic when that's built. It'll be amazing. That'll be launched in October, we think. So that'll be a big festival. The launch of that ship. A bit closer to home, here we have the Liverpool Water Sports Centre. They do several waterborne activities there. There's a wakeboarding facility with a zip wire, you can run around on a wakeboard. They've got dragon boat racing, they've got canoeing, kayaking, they've got sailing. Liverpool Marina, we've got the Kobe dock, we've got the Brunswick dock. There's a total of 500 boats between the 2 docks. It used to be called Brunswick Basin. It was built in 1817, started building it, and it completed in 1823. Had a 70-foot wide river entrance, and it was renamed Kobe Dock in 1840 in honour of Prince Albert. It was Jesse Hartley's South Dockyard headquarters. The Kobe Dock was enlarged in 1858, and it also had a 63,000 ton capacity grain silo here as well. They sealed up the river entrance because the Brunswick dock had 2 proper sea locks for the ships to go in and out of anyway. And the 63,000 ton capacity grain silo, they demolished that in 1986 and they built this beautiful marina. All the warehouses have been knocked down, all the they've been replaced by these lovely apartments all around. There's about 150 vessels in this dock. Got the police boat, the consortium, 2. That's owned by 3 police forces. There's Lancashire, Merseyside, Lancashire, Cheshire Police Force on that. That's patrol area. I think North Wales and Cumbria Police have even got a hand in it now as well. Okay, so we're just passing through into the Brunswick dock. Brunswick dock was built by Jesse Hartley. It's the first dock he built. He started building it between 1827 and he completed it in 1832. It was built specifically for the timber industry. Okay. It's got 2 lock entrances, a big ship lock entrance, okay, and that's been sealed up now, that's non-existent, but the smaller entrance has been refurbished, and that's how we get the yachts out. So we're in the Brunswick dock, ladies and gents. There was also a shipbuilding company called Cato Miller who set up in 1854 on the Brunswick dock. They built ships. like I say, it's built for the timber industry, timber trade, so the ships that bring timber in from all around the world. If you look at the holes in the walls on the East Quay there, they've all been bricked up, and the dockers would simply slide the big bulks of timber off the ships, across the gunnels of the ships, through the holes in the wall, instead of lifting them because they're too heavy. Just make it turn here. I'll watch it, mate. That's it. So, we're turning around here now, ladies and gents. If you look down at the south end of the dock, you'll see the Royal Naval Headquarters Merseyside. That's that. You see the tin roofs there, like. That's a nice naval base. That Naval Reserve Base. There's HMS Eaglet is based there. Okay, and there's also a Royal Marine Commando unit based there, reservists as well. By the way, guys, we're just going past the ugly boat. See where it says boat trips? That's a Skylark. We call it the ugly boat. Reason being, just have a good look at the crew. You got 6'6" a rugby player there. There he is, Adam. He's a good lad, Adam. I wouldn't say that close up to him. 6'6", all in rugby player. Nose pointing west and ears pointing east. God praise the Lord, there's a little bit of a story to that. A fellow called John brought that into the marina about 15 years ago. He brought it back from the Mediterranean and had a sign on the back of it that said all sailors pay cash before boarding. And apparently before he bought it, it turned out it was used for the Royal Navy. So we keep it. We're going to keep to the west of it. Is he? Oh, he's right behind us. We'd have to walk over the ground. Okay, ladies and gents, I pretty much covered the spectrum of the history of the docks. I hope you've enjoyed me talk, and I'm going to put the music on a bit louder for you to enjoy the trip back and head back for the berth now. And thanks very much for listening. Thank you. Thanks very much, guys. Incidentally, we're on Facebook and Twitter. Just type in Floating Grace. Appreciate any reviews you could give us, it'd be amazing. And we do 3-course evening dinner cruises for £35 a head. Top head chef on board, top Liverpool chef as well. All the meals are prepared on board in our galley. And we do Sunday roast cruises, £25 a head. That's a two-course dinner. And that includes a main course of Sunday roast and a sweet as well. So, anyone want to give us a review on Facebook or TripAdvisor or Twitter? Thanks very much for listening. That's the we always pass the Liverpool session. They're warming up there, yeah. That's Just coming into Perth now, ladies and gents. Really appreciate you coming on board today, taking the time out to explore the docks on board Floating Grace. Thanks very much. Well, just
We'll have to go on land.